Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now today I have got a PvZ, I have got the blue Protoss player. In the lower left is of course ToXiC. In the top right we do have the red Zerg who is Abracadabra. Is he going to pull off something magic? I don't know, but I promise, actually I can't promise that won't be the last bad pun I make about his name, because it just set me up. I don't know why. I started chuckling to myself as soon as I saw that it was Abracadabra. I was like, that is an awesome name, and also terrible, because I just want to make silly jokes about it. But anyway, a PvZ! I'm really happy about PvZ. I've been casting most of today quite a bit of Terran and Protoss games, so this is the first Zerg I have cast today so far, which makes me pretty happy, because I of course do like them Zergs. Now, Pylon, why not? Because you're going to go for a fast expansion. It's Cloud Kingdom. Look at this area, just like wall me off, and I will be fine. You can get that expansion down, everything's nice. On obviously the Zerg side, we should see a 15 pull, maybe, well, a 14 or 15 pull, depending on how risky the Zerg is feeling playing, and then into a quick expansion due to the fast expansion from the Protoss, a third base at 4 to 5 minutes, roughly aiming for 4 minutes 20. Then we've got kind of a bit of a more thought into the mid-game. Well, a lot of it depends on what ToXiC goes for. If he chooses to go for quite a lot of gateway pressure and things like that, then we should see quite a roach heavy composition out of Abra, and well, at the same time you're going to get down your evolution chamber for the spore crawlers to defend against DTs and airplay. So really it's going to be kind of a roach on evo timing, not too late. That would be quite good. And I don't know, there's the other option of course is to go for a very heavily upgraded Zergling style into super quick infestors straight into Broodlords, and that can work depending on what your opponent's doing. The trouble is, and the reason why as a Zerg player I'd be really thinking I'm going to be a threat from some pressure early on, is because this third base is really quite vulnerable. There's a big ramp here, big entrance there, and also your natural base is then exposed if you move out too far. So I'd be going for a lot of roachling, expecting some gateway pressure. The forge is down. It was a forge before the Nexus. The Overlord will be able to see that. That'll be very useful scouting information. The Overlord should now pull back just to see what's going on, but I definitely think the third base is going to be the focal point of this match. If Abracadabra can hold it, he should be okay. Of course, what you see quite a few Protoss players actually doing now is taking their own third very quickly, purely because a Protoss player on 3 bases can do so much. It gives you so much utility. Now, this is actually I was going to say that's a strange wall-off, and then of course the gateway slotted in and it then became normal. But until that point I was like, wow, this is a bit weird. The third base, the drone is on its way over. No, it's not a drone, it's a Zergling. There's the drone. So the Zergling just checking for cannons and things like that, because you never know. And losing a base is a lot worse than just sending one Zergling over and delaying it a second or two, but it's still before the 4 minute 20 benchmark, which I like to use as a good timing. The Queen is there ready for inject. A second Queen should be coming up soon. What I'm always interested to see is whether Zerg players get additional queens for spreading the creep. I personally think always get those queens to spread the creep, because it works really well, and creep is really good. That probe is going to get away and be pretty much safe. These Zerglings doing a great job of actually scouting around everywhere to make sure that they're not going to get any unwanted surprises for our Zerg buddy. No upgrades coming down yet. We do of course have the cybernetic core, the double gas in the main. No third or fourth gas yet. No gas at all for Abracadabra, obviously, because he has no need for gas right now. All he needs is drones. Lots and lots of drones. Should be building a third, maybe even a fourth queen though at the moment. That is something I'd really like. So there's the third queen on the way. There goes down the creep tumor, which means an inject doesn't go down there. And actually, having said that, the inject a bit late there as well, so not ideal play by our Zerg here. I think it's always important to prioritize those injects, because obviously it's just 4 lava, and you need those lava early on. If we look at the worker count, the Protoss is still ahead, but really this is the point now that the third base is popped that you should see the Zerg start going ahead in terms of the worker count, just because of their increased production capability from the third hatchery and the third queen. Now, we do have a robotic facility on its way down, and that is it. So it's going to be a 1-gate robo type play, so I can't wait to see what's going to go on here. My thoughts would be we're going to see some kind of Immortal Sentry push. That is the immediate red flag I'm going to be thinking of if I was to scout that robotic facility, but it would be very difficult to scout it from its positioning, because there's no quick and easy way for an Overlord to get to there. So I think that is very good positioning, and will give ToXiC the element surprise. And well, just on cue. There's the Rotron. Evo Chamber needs to go down as well, though. Get the Evo Chamber. Now, it might seem like I'm shouting at our Zerg buddy here about getting his Evolution Chamber at the same time. I'm not. I'm shouting at all you Zerg players who are watching. Rotron, Evo Chamber. Rotron, Evo Chamber. Just get them both, and everything will always be fine, I promise, unless you don't do something else right, but let's just forget about that. There goes down the Evolution Chamber, so that is okay. Immortals are coming out. This is looking more and more like an Immortal Sentry type play. The Sentry's already out. That single Overlord will get picked off, and of course doesn't get the scouting information. What it does get, though, is a lack of scouting. That's something that's important to mention as well. You see nothing in all this area. Basically screams, my opponent is definitely trying to hide something from me. Anyway, more gateways are on their way down. Now it takes up to a grand total of 4 gates. That should be quite good. The Zerglings running around, getting a good idea of what's happening on the map, because that's what they really need to know. We do have the +1 missile attack on its way down. The Zergling speed upgrade layer coming down. All for Zerg. Meanwhile, we now have a 4th, 5th gateway being added on. Now it takes up to 6 gates. That is going to be a lot of sentries. The Immortals are still a poppin'. They are a droppin', and well, this is going to be tough to deal with, because as I highlighted at the start of this game, the third base for the Zerg player can be really awkward. The Zerglings looping around, decaying an eye on the third. The fact they haven't seen a third base should now be a warning. Also, I'm surprised that we haven't actually seen the Zerg player poke forward a little bit, just to see what's going along over this kind of area. If it saw just the sentries there, maybe would be a bit of a giveaway on what could be happening. But quite a few roaches are being forced already. The downside to this, of course, is all while you're building roaches, you're not building workers. And workers are so damn good. And this push, it ain't coming for a while. These gateways are only just finishing up. There is a probe by the... No, that's not a probe. There is a probe anywhere. Do we have a probe? No. There's no forward probe. That is a slight mistake. You want that forward probe for that forward pylon. Those speedlings, though, running around, getting just great scouting information. Just look at how really organized Abrakadabra is in terms of running that Zergling on everywhere, trying to spot any kind of proxy pylon, warping gateway, or anything like that. So great work in terms of the map dominance here right now by the Zerg. That is definitely a big win. Now, there isn't a probe being added on here either. We do, of course, have a Zealot being added into the mix, and just so many sentries and stalkers warping in as well now. They're going to come and join the fray, because why not? There's more than enough sentries. We do have some good force fields going down. We'll allow a couple of roaches to get picked off basically for free. One sentry does take some big damage at the moment. Those force fields not really as good as they could be, if I'm being honest. Of course, now Abrakadabra does know what he's dealing with, and is getting the correct response of a hella load of roaches. Of course, every time you pick off Overlords, it's 100 minerals and a lava and time, potentially supply blocking your opponent. There is the War Prism ready for the warp in, and this third base is going to take an absolute miracle defense. But it looks like it's going to be a base race. A counter push comes in right now from the Zerg player, who is just like, I can't defend this, I am just going to try and kill you first. This could end us up with a bit of a funky game. That third base is gone, dead, buried. It is already 6 feet under and partially materialized, as you can see there. But here we go, the roaches, they are just pumping forward. We've got some photon cannons, some pylons. Surprised those sentries aren't being used very much at the moment, but here we go, just trying to delay a bit more. Meanwhile, at the Zerg base, this Protoss army is up against so many roaches, getting completely surrounded, but the roaches cleaned up so effectively by these Immortals. Just look at how much damage is being done by those. They are absolutely decimating, should get focused down if possible. The force field's now actually working against the Protoss player, preventing him getting closer. Meanwhile, was this all cleaned up? Yeah, for the moment the push was cleaned up, but it just did so much damage. And of course all these units have come from behind. This could be so tough. The macro hatch gets taken down. Kadabra is not looking to be in a great spot, and money force fields right there. One Immortal is still in the firing range, though needs to move forward a little bit. All the drones have been pulled for the moment. This is what it'll all come down to, a second wave of force fields just preventing the complete surround right there. The Immortals, they are taking damage. It is crazy. One Immortal falls. There are still 2 alive, though. They need to stay up, but the momentum of this push is completely dwindling. And there we go. Both Immortals just picked up perfectly happily. In terms of the work account, 44 to 43 in the Protoss favor. But Keeley, the most important thing on here right now is ToXiC brought his opponent to being equal bases with him. It is 2 bases apiece, which will always favor the Protoss player. And well, this is just looking so good right now. In terms of the damage done, was it enough? I don't think so. ToXiC is technically behind in the supply count. He is behind fractionally in the work account. But this game is just going oh so well. It is beautiful. I loved the fact that abrakadabra did do some damage behind the push, but didn't overcommit. He looped back. He knew he needed to get back to defend, otherwise he was going to lose the base race. Stage 2 of this push, though, is coming across the map as I speak. In terms of upgrades, we've got tunneling floors coming down, the 2-1 upgrades for the Zerg as well as Burrow. In terms of the Protoss, we do have another forge being added on, another gateway, a lot of stalkers being warped in across the map, and we should see a nice bit of an engagement here. Those force fields on the money, preventing the roaches from engaging in their absolute maximum number. The Queen even getting involved on this, and well, this is just going super well at the moment for, well, ToXiC, because he's got a good surround on the roaches. The Zealots are able to get in there. He keeps that miracle immortal alive with the 2 health points. That is one lucky immortal, but it's an immortal that deals an awful lot of damage. Even if it just gets one more shot off, it is doing well, and it's already up to about 4, maybe even 5, so it will die at some point if just one roach hits it, but until that point it can deal damage everywhere. And to be honest, I just don't see abrakadabra being able to come back from this. He's trying to pump out roaches, but again, always wins with the cheese. I don't think that was cheese. I think that was good play by ToXiC. He hit his hit his tech. He went with a good push. He didn't overcommit, and well, it was just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, guys, subscribe because I get new top level games up every single day of the week. Leave a cool comment because the interaction is brilliant. Thumbs up the video. That would be great for me. And well, if you want to watch any more StarCraft 2, flick over to my channel for the hundreds of casts I have there. And also, if you don't, or if you've seen them all, I will see you tomorrow for yet another new game. So, bye for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I was Madals, and this is the StarCraft 2 England cast.